Hi, this is Stephanie with True 10 Fitness. More details at www.true10fitness.com. This is my second food video, and tonight we're going to make a pasta with meat sauce. However, it's gluten-free, vegan, vegetarian, and it's loaded with protein and some fiber as well. So let me show you what we're going to use. It's a really simple recipe. And if you decide that you want to add some veggies to it, you know I always encourage that. Sometimes I'll throw in some cherry tomatoes, mushrooms, asparagus, things like that are really great in the pasta. However, if you decide to keep it simple tonight and just go with the spaghetti with meat sauce, have a huge salad on the side, and it'll be good if you mix them together too while you're eating on your plate. Okay, so I've got some organic brown rice rotini here. I like the brown rice pastas because the texture is a little bit more similar to the white pasta, so it's not so grainy. It's a little softer. Anyhow, that's what we're going to use tonight. Pick that up at Winco. I've also got some organic fresh basil, which is fantastic in pasta, whatever kind of pasta you're eating. Also pick that up at Winco. I've got some organic tomato paste. Ingredients, you won't be able to see it from there, but ingredients is organic tomatoes. That's all that's in it. So we're going to make our own pasta sauce tonight as well. Pick this up at Costco. And then just some your basic Italian seasoning. I've got some oregano, some thyme, rosemary, a little bit of basil, things like that in there. And then a couple of cool products that you might not have seen before. I did pick these both up at Winco in the bulk section. So the first one here is, it's a soy meat, also goes as TVP. So it's natural, it's soy, and that's going to serve as our meat. And then I've got some nutritional yeast. Just like the soy meat, it serves as a good source of protein and some fiber as well. The soy meat does have more protein in it than the nutritional yeast. But the nutritional yeast is great because since it's vegan, we're not going to use any cheese. This will give it a little bit more texture and a little bit of a cheesy flavor, believe it or not. And then I'm going to use just a small amount of liquid aminos. This is by Bragg's, and I also picked this up at Winco, just to give us a little bit of salt, a little bit of a salt taste to it. We're not, as you can see, we're not adding any oil, we're not adding any salt, we're not adding any sugar. And this liquid aminos is just made from soybeans and filtered water. So it's going to give us a little bit extra flavor. And then finally in my dish here I've got some garlic. Tonight I'm using just a dried granulated garlic, but you could use fresh garlic, you could use minced garlic, any type of garlic you like, if you like garlic at all. And then of course good old water. And that's everything that we're going to need. Okay, so here we are. I've got the basil chopped up, and that was really the only prep work since I went this route with the garlic. So we're ready to head into the pan. I've got the water just about to boil for the pasta, so while we're waiting on that, we'll go ahead and start the sauce. So I'm just going to start by adding some water to my pan. My pan's on medium to high heat. And it really depends on how much you plan on making, but I'm going to go ahead and use my entire can of tomato paste. You'd be surprised how far it goes, one can of tomato paste. Be real careful when you're shopping for your tomato paste though. It is crazy what some companies will put inside of a can of tomato paste. Trust me, it's far more than tomatoes. So watch for that, and if you can find one that's organic, you know I am pro no GMOs. So we've got our sauce out here, and I'm just going to, or we've got our paste out, I'm going to mix this up with the water so that it turns into a tomato sauce. And as it does, as soon as we get it a little bit more mixed, I'm going to go ahead and add in some of the garlic powder and some of the seasoning. So I'm just going to keep on stirring it in this manner. And it will soon join up and become a tomato sauce. Okay, so just a couple minutes later, the water and the tomato paste have become a tomato sauce, and I've added more water, and I will continue to add more water because the way this soy meat works is it's going to soak up the liquid in whatever you put it in. So you could use this for tacos, you could use it for wherever you would use like ground beef, for example, and it's just going to soak up the liquid. So I'm going to add a little more water, and I'm going to add in my garlic so that flavor starts to get in there. And the garlic is just, you know, use the type you like, and also use the amount you like depending on how much garlic you like. Everything is to taste and to make it enjoyable for yourself and your family. So I turned the heat down just a little bit, just on a medium heat now. I'm going to add in some of the Italian seasoning. All natural, no salt, just dried seasonings. Just getting that flavor in there. Let those work together, and I'm going to add in the soy meat. And then some more water so that the soy meat has something to soak up. I'm throwing in about a half a cup. So I'm going to add more water because that is going to soak up the water pretty darn quickly. It's like a sponge. I'll let these flavors mingle, and I'm just going to throw in the pasta. Okay, so we've got the pasta in. It's starting to boil. It's probably going to be about 5 minutes before that's ready. And as you can see from this sauce, it is coming together really nicely, looking like a meat sauce. So I am going to add in a little bit of the Bragg's just to add a bit of salt flavor. And I'll add a little bit of the basil. I always like to save some of the basil for the end because it looks so pretty on top, and I love that fresh taste of fresh cut basil right on top of the pasta. But it's good to have some mixed in there too, so that as the flavors are kind of coming together, you'll get that really, really fresh flavor to it, the fresh taste. Okay, so I did taste the sauce, and it is turning out great. And that's kind of how I cook, you know. Every time I'm cooking something, I'll end up with like 8 extra spoons to wash, because I taste it as I go and make sure that it's right. I do recommend cooking that way, because if you go strictly by you know, what the recipe calls for, it might not be right for your taste, and it's really important to enjoy your food. So tried it, loved it, and I'm just going to add the last piece. And this just adds, like I said, a little cheesy flavor, and more important than the flavor for me is it adds a little bit of extra nutrition that we need. So again, it's a little more protein, a little bit more fiber. So I'm going to put in probably a 1/4 cup because I'm loving the taste of the sauce as it is. And I'm just going to add this for that extra dimension. It's basically a sub for your Parmesan if you were making a traditional pasta. The other thing I want to note is to watch your if you're cooking with brown rice pastas, watch it carefully, because it will have more of a tendency to stick than a whole wheat pasta or than a white pasta. So you'll want to make sure that they are not forgotten, because they will stick together and get too soft and mushy, and we don't want that. So I'm just going to cook it to al dente. And as soon as I strain these, I'll rinse them with cold water to make sure that they're not sticking together. So our sauce is just about done. I'm just going to let it sit and let those flavors come together. Nice low heat. And we'll be back in a second with the pasta. Okay, so our pasta is done. Our sauce is done, and we are ready to roll. So we're going to go ahead and make you a plate. The pasta, I went ahead and drained it as well as rinsed it with some cold water so it would not stick together. And again, you don't even need oil to do that, to get it to not stick together. So I'll give you a bit of serving of this. Nice whole grain pasta, organic brown rice, so it's gluten-free, it's organic, it's got protein, it's got fiber, great product. And our meat sauce, our vegan meat sauce, is delicious, flavorful, again, full of protein, full of fiber, vitamins and minerals, super good for you. Again, no wheat, no meat. And I'm going to top it off with some basil, that fresh basil. Not only is it delicious, but it's beautiful. Your food should always just make you feel happy. Not only from the way that it tastes, but also the way that it looks. So, we've got our nice, pretty basil on here. It's topped off and ready to go. And voila, here's your beautiful plate. And be sure to couple this with a nice big green salad so you really get that complete nutrition and give your body everything that it needs. For more information, of course, you can visit the website at www.true10fitness.com and also the Instagram page, the Twitter feed, and the Facebook feed. So if you find some other pictures out there of food, there's a lot of them, let me know and I'll invite you into my kitchen and we'll make it together. Until then, be well and namaste.